think we've all come to consensus that, well, the ZN6 is a new S chassis.
No, it's not. And I think anybody who believes that has either lost touch with what a realistic budget is, or has forgotten what made the S chassis so popular in the first place. Sorry, Jim. Love your videos, and we will talk about the ZN6 later in this video. All right, buckle up. I think this is a bit of a hot take, but I believe the next S chassis is going to be the SN95 Mustang.
Ford Mustang, it's your race.
Or what I like to call the Trailer Park 240. Now hang on, I know you JDM fanboys are probably pissing your pants right now, but before you leave to go watch Initial D for the third time or go back to watching another reverse entry compilation of Naoki, just hear me out. We're going to talk about why the S chassis was so good to begin with, why it sort of sucks now, and why the SN95 is next in line for the throne, whether you like it or not. Okay, quick plug. If you're watching this, you're probably a grassroots car guy like me. And it really helps me out if you'd consider subscribing or just checking out some of the other builds I've got on the channel. The S chassis used to be like the junior chicken of drift cars. They were cheap, easy to find, and surprisingly satisfying. You could pick one up for the cost of a PS5 and still have enough money left over for a tank of gas and a shitty eBay turbo kit. These babies were rear-wheel drive, manual, and light enough to be pushed around by a strong breeze. And being made by Nissan, they were like the cockroach of Japanese cars. You just couldn't kill them. But now, the S chassis kinda sucks. They've been passed around more than a vape in a high school parking lot, and finding a clean one is like trying to find a unicorn that doesn't need subframe bushings. And if you do happen to find a clean one, the price tag is usually somewhere between I should just buy a Corvette and am I really about to take out a loan on a 30-year-old Nissan with 240,000 miles and no interior? So it's not 2007 anymore. All the S chassis I've seen are either destroyed, beat to hell, rusted out, or just stupid expensive. You can't seem to find a clean 240 under 10 grand these days unless you get super lucky. And if you do find one, chances are it's missing half its interior, it's got a sketchy engine swap with some terrible wiring, or it's got some sketchy drift history from a decade ago. And it's getting incredibly hard to find any OEM parts for these cars. They're becoming way more of a collector's item than they are a budget-friendly platform. They're just not what they used to be. And to be honest, what I've seen of the 240 community lately sorta sucks. I've never seen a group of people gatekeep a hobby as aggressively as 240 owners do. Everybody that owns one seems to shit on other people's builds. Meanwhile, all the 240 owners are standing in a circle, patting each other on the back for running another B-knuckle car with an Origin kit.
Mustangs can't be the new S chassis, they're not JDM.
If you think they're drifting the S chassis in Japan because that's a Japanese car, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They are drifting them because they are fun to drive. And you know what else is fun to drive? Good old American V8, baby, yeah! This is actually one of the reasons I got rid of my 8.6. The community was pretty cool, but in person, I would get so much crap from people that didn't even own one of the cars for drifting what was considered a collector's car. And like, man, they became collector's cars because they were fun drift cars. Same sort of things happening with the S chassis. Meanwhile, the Mustang community is one of the coolest car groups I've ever been a part of. Everybody has been super welcoming so far. Everybody is very interested in each other's builds, no matter what you're building them for. There's no sort of purist mentality. Like, this car, built to be a drift car. And I assumed a lot of Mustang purists would be ragging on this thing for not being what Oni cars are meant to be doing. But everybody's been loving this build so far. It's very cool. Even the V6 guys are pretty cool. So the SN95 Mustang. These cars are insanely cheap. Like, we're talking still get one for under 5 grand cheap. They come with a V8 from the factory, so there's no swap needed. And even if you get a V6 one, they are still plenty fast enough to be a hoot. They've got parts everywhere and insane aftermarket support and a massive community behind them. Sound familiar? Sure, they're a little heavier than a 240, but that V8 makes up for it. If you can get a GT with the 4.6, you are getting incredible bang for your buck. And if you get a Cobra, that's good eating. Plus, it's still a rear-wheel drive manual transmission coupe. You can really build these things to do anything. You can daily them, you can track them, you can drag race them, you can build them into show cars, and even the aftermarket support for drifting them is really starting to catch up. And parts are plentiful. You can still find them in junkyards all over the place. If 240 goes to a junkyard, scalpers are gonna have that thing picked down to the bone within 24 hours. I might even argue that the Mustang has more aftermarket support than the 240. I don't think anybody's arguing that the SN95 is trying to be the next S chassis. I think it just sort of accidentally ended up there. It's kind of like your buddy who came over for a small fix on your project car and now he's helping replace the transmission in a gravel driveway. In my opinion, the single biggest factor contributing to which car is going to be the next S chassis is the price. It's what made the S chassis so popular to begin with, and it's what's stopping other cars from taking that title from the SN95. Sure, there's a bunch of other good contenders, like Miatas. They're super fun cars, very well balanced, but I think cost is a limiting factor again. The cost of Miatas is starting to skyrocket. 350Zs are another great contender, but again, I think cost is a limiting factor, and to be honest, the VQ makes a sound that only a mother could love. And finally, the BRZ, or FRS, or whatever you want to call it. It's super nice chassis, and I'll be the first to admit it's probably the closest thing in driving style to a spiritual successor of the S chassis. But again, the cost. For the cost of a nice BRZ or FRS, just go buy an S chassis. It's not, you're just making a lateral movement. It is not priced as a grassroots, affordable car like the SN95 is. All of these cars are super cool, but none of them check every box like the SN95 does in terms of availability, reliability, and most importantly, affordability. So yeah, the SN95 is the new S chassis. If you still don't believe me, just wait 5 more years until they're all cut up to be drift missiles and you're wishing you got one when they were $2,000 on Craigslist. The same thing that happened to the Fox bodies. So if you've got one, hang on to that thing. And if you're thinking about getting one, now's the time to do it. And if you still think I'm an idiot, leave a comment down below and we'll act like it's 2006 and we can fight like we're back on the car forums.